I bought a camera when I was 15 or 16, just a small pocket digital camera, the ones that were beginning to be sold at the time. Very cheap, very bad quality, but somehow it appealed to me and I didn't stop. It was getting more and more. I was taking pictures of friends at concerts and the bands they were in, the stuff we came along, and yeah, I just didn't stop. I was even taking up photography as studying it and studying it, and yeah, and from there it evolved to where I am now. As I said, I can't really remember why I did it, but it just felt right to me back then, I guess, because I started studying photography, and yeah, it just appealed to me. I think it's a mixture between classic street photography and in some parts social documentary style, in the sense that it's not just street photography I'm doing. I mean, it's a broad term. What is street photography now? I think there is a lot of different explanations or things you would say are street photography. So in that sense, probably more social documentary than street itself. I don't think there's a real purpose for me, in the sense of somebody's purpose with it is showing things that are wrong in this world, or things that need to be shown to maybe change something about it. But maybe my purpose for myself is that it's a collection of memories. I tend to forget stuff, or situations I was in, or situations and people I was with in. But when I look at a picture that is maybe 10 years old, I immediately can recall in what situation I was in, why I was there, whom I was with, and so. Yeah, it's maybe to help myself with remembering things I've done, things I've seen, places I've been to that I would otherwise probably forget or could remember, had more difficulties remembering. And also, it's not the purpose itself. I take pictures mainly for myself, but. If you're talking about purpose, maybe to show other people also the weird stuff and unusual situations I've been in, or places that other people wouldn't necessarily go to, and yeah, just show them what they otherwise wouldn't see, because it's out of their bubble, or it's places they can't just go to. What I tend to like are timeless pictures. Pictures that you can really tell in what, I mean, we know what century they have been taken in probably, but not the decades. Like, I really like it already if you can tell it's from the 70s, from the 80s, from the 90s. Yeah, pictures that are timeless, in the sense that you can tell from the background, from the clothes you wear, people are wearing, and cars, etc., etc. If you take them out of the frame, a picture gets timeless, and that appeals to me, and that is, for me, in most cases, is a good picture. With a portrait, it's mostly about light, of course, but I'm talking solely here in street photography and social documentary. There, it doesn't have to be timeless, but I like them the most. I only used cameras of the M series, mainly the M6, because I own it. And I like the way they're built. You can feel they're built to last. You have something in your hands. It is heavy, sturdy, and I like that it's stripped down to its basics. You can adjust the shutter, the time, and the speed of the film, and that's it, and that's everything you need, I guess. And I like to control, that I have the control over the focusing, that I don't have to depend on the autofocus working correctly. I know that it's in focus when I look through the viewfinder. And that's all I need from a camera, really. There's times where I maybe need a flash or a faster camera, but I think Leica has a few more cameras that can do that as well. But for me, that's all I need, and that's all it takes, and that's what it got. In school, I first got in contact with Henri Cartier-Bresson, of course, because everybody knows him. So in that sense, he inspired me to take up that style of photography. But soon I saw that I like others more, like William Klein and André Cartes and Gary Winogrand, Trent Park, Robert Capa. So maybe you can say the ones that have more of a rougher style and not the clean-cut stuff that Cartier-Bresson was doing. I like his stuff, but I like the other ones way more. It just appeals more to me. And also Austrian photographers like Franz Huppmann and Erich Lessing, of course, and more recent ones like Leo Kandel. So people that got closer to people and more in your face, I would say. I was collecting pictures of Vienna for a long time already when a publisher approached me and said he wants to do a series about Vienna or wants to publish a book about Vienna with my pictures. And I thought, of course, I would love to do that, but I need more than just my collection of pictures that was already there. So I started taking pictures of Vienna constantly and running around Vienna, going to places I haven't been to before that I maybe otherwise wouldn't have gone to before that. So I started to take pictures for 1.5 years and collect even more, expand my archive, and then made a best of, you could say, of all those pictures. The letzte Schmäh is an expression, a Viennese expression, which you just can't translate. Schmäh could mean a lot of things, like that's a joke. It's could be an ironic expression for a joke, in the sense that it's not funny at all. And all in all, I think it describes what I wanted to show of Vienna, a side of Vienna which many people are never gonna see, And from what I heard later on, they haven't seen, yeah. There's this expression of off the beaten track. And of course, I would say my bubble, the bubble we're in, or I am in, and the friends I've got and people I know haven't seen before. For me, many of these places are places I regularly go to. So, yeah, just show a side of Vienna that many in their bubble would never dare to go to and would never see otherwise. Yeah, I really like the series because it shows me a side of Russia that I would never get to see, probably, or will never get to see. And it shows me Russia the way I imagine it to be, like a vastness of land, like harsh environments that we cannot imagine being here, from the sheer coldness, the sheer heat, going through those elements probably in one day, and the hard work and labor that goes into it, that hard labor that already went into it, and the work they are, like the hard work they are doing there actually. It's not just a train or trains going through a nice landscape, but there's people behind it that keep it working, keep it going. And I think especially the drone footage shows that vastness I just mentioned. It's just an endless country and endless, you could think, endless roads, railroads going through there. It's something we don't have here in Western Europe, something we cannot dream of or imagine, comprehend. Yeah. I'm working on a series about Italy, but it's a long-term project, so it won't be finished the next year or two. And another one about a family story, about my grand aunt and the coffee house she once owned, which has a long history, and she's a person that was well known and at least in the district, 11th district of Vienna. So I'm planning on doing a book with the pictures I collected, with pictures I got from the family albums, with stories that I was told about her and the coffee house. So it's going to be not only my pictures, but a collection and recollections of stories and objects also.